Dave Maney has been hearing all of this talk about blaming the frigid weather and all of that. He says it's just a snow job. So, Dave, you're not buying it. Why not?
I'm not buying it, Neil, because there's already a number of trends in this economy that are making the idea of a job kind of an obsolete construct. People are replacing people with technology. And when you come in with the Affordable Care Act, with Obamacare, and you make the option of hiring a human being the most expensive, riskiest possible option you could take, what do you think is going to happen? It's like pouring gasoline on a fire. So
yeah, but there was, when you break down, I see your point there, but there are a lot of numbers when you break it down that were directly affected by cold weather. Obviously it's hard to get construction guys out there when it's frigid and all that. But so in the context of it, you're saying a lot of that should have been factored in already, right?
To the best of my memory as a kid growing up in Binghamton, New York, December is usually cold.
Let me write that down. December.
We did not have a polar vortex in December. It was a little cold and a little snowy, but that's December. The idea that is what has gone from, hey, the economy's back on track and we're charging into the future, to suddenly like, whoa, we only created 74,000 jobs. I'm not buying it.
All right, but what you are buying is this notion that whatever growth we have seen is going to slow or start reversing because of the healthcare law. Now, there's a study that was out this week when a lot of CFOs, chief financial officers, the number twos at a lot of these companies were asked about hiring prospects. They're still fairly optimistic, the law's problems notwithstanding. So how does that jibe with what you're saying?
Well, look, I live in a kind of the Main Street world of entrepreneurialism. I'm a guy who started 3 companies, and in my company right now, given that cost burden, the way we're approaching things is if we can outsource it, crowdsource it, use some kind of technological solution to do it, I can be certain about the costs of that. I know that that's predictable. I will do it that way. And most of my peers and entrepreneurs and startup guys and CEOs are in the exact same boat. So what they're doing at America's largest companies might be one thing, but remember, that's not what drives the American economy.
All right, I want to talk about what drives your selfish Wall Street buddies. And they tend to like when we get weak news because it means that the tonic or the nicotine, whatever you want to call it, they get from the Federal Reserve will continue because it has to continue. Things aren't strong enough so that we can do without it. Now, you wouldn't know it necessarily looking at what was essentially a wash in trading today, but it's been sort of like a wash in trading this month. What do you make of all this?
Well, what I make of it is that the stock market's never a very good kind of current indicator of exactly what the economy's doing or what the employment picture's doing. Remember, that's about corporate profits and the overall market environment for alternative investments. So you have the Fed doing this crazy money pumping thing that continues to make yields very low and markets more attractive. And then you have corporations which are essentially continually working to drive out costs with technological solutions. Profit picture is great. Alternatives are crappy. So what happens is the market continues to go bonkers, and it doesn't really care about the latest employment numbers per se, except, as you put it, almost in a counterintuitive bad news is good news sort of way.
Yeah, you said it a lot better, though. Dave, thank you very much, my friend. Happy New Year.